Hello, everyone. My name is Randall. I'm the Interim Director of Admissions here at the Delaware College of Art and Design. And I thank you for joining me today as we go through what DCAD has to offer. Our core values are dedication, creativity, accomplishment, and diversity. DCAD offers a 2-year Associates of Fine Arts degree, or an AFA, in animation, illustration, graphic design, fine art, or photography. As an art and design college, you'll experience intensive studio work supported by rigorous academic courses. You'll receive a firm foundation in art and design and graduate with a portfolio of work that you can use to either transfer to complete your bachelor's or to jumpstart your career. DCAD educates, empowers, and challenges emerging artists and designers just like you. We engage and inspire in an inclusive and diverse creative community. We are located in the heart of the Creative District in downtown Wilmington. If you find yourself at the corner of 6th and Market, you'll see our gallery on the first floor, the Tony and Stuart Pion Gallery, which hosts exhibitions from visiting artists, staff and faculty, and current students. Where Wilmington is located is kind of in the middle of a cultural hotspot, merely a couple hours away from New York City or DC, a simple train ride from Baltimore or Philadelphia. But we also can't forget about all of the galleries and museums that are located right in our backyard. When I visited DCAD, I instantly felt comfortable, immediately at ease talking with professors, and the artwork inspired me as well. This is Liana Bacani, class of 2019, transferred to Moore, where she received a 5-figure scholarship. This is important advice for any college that you're looking into. Are there students that look like me, act like me? Are there clubs that excite me? Does the work inspire me? That's how you'll know that school is going to be the right fit. And I bet DCAD is going to be a great fit for you. Our typical studio class is about 4 hours long. You'll start with a critique in the beginning, and then an in-class assignment, and then a critique at the end. 4 hours may seem like a lot of time, but it really affords you the opportunity to invest time and energy into learning what you need to learn. In the gallery on the first floor, you'll have an opportunity to exhibit your work at least 3 times. You'll have a show your first and second year as a student show, and then when you graduate, you'll have an exhibition in the gallery as well. This is important because you'll be able to put these experiences on your CV, which is the artist version of a resume. Student life. We say that life is sweet at DCAD because we offer apartment-style housing. It's not the typical cinder block shoebox at larger institutions. You'll have your own bedroom, living room, and bathroom at your disposal. We offer 3 different housing types: a single where you live by yourself, a double where you live with 1 other person, and a triple with 2 other people. On the first floor is our dining hall. There's no starving artists at DCAD. Every meal is covered as a part of your meal plan. So that means breakfast, lunch, and dinner Monday through Friday, and then brunch and dinner on the weekends. We say that DCAD is small, smart, and spirited. We're small. We have a close-knit, diverse, and inclusive creative community of just under 200 students. This means that you're going to get to know everyone. You're going to get to know your peers, all of the faculty, all of the staff. We have supported faculty of professional artists who are masters in their field, who will provide that meaningful mentorship. Our student-teacher ratio is 10-1, so that means that our faculty will get to know you and your work. This is important because they'll understand your progression. It's not always about the end product, but the journey that you take to get there. And our faculty understanding your journey will only help you grow as an artist or designer. We're smart. We're accredited by NASAD and Middle States. What does accredited mean? It means that our curriculum is held to the highest standard. This is important in case you plan on transferring. You'll know that those credits are going to follow you. Not every art school is accredited, and that's something to keep in mind. More of our students graduate on time. Our average is 86% versus the national average of 52%. DCAD costs less than other art and design colleges, on average about $13,000 less. So with the lower cost of DCAD plus graduating on time, means that this is a great investment on your future, and then you'll graduate with less debt. We are spirited. We have opportunities to curate your own exhibitions, initiate clubs, explore arts and culture in and around Wilmington. The current clubs that we have on campus are a Gay Straight Alliance, a Black Student Union, a Student Gallery Club, a yoga club, a horror club, an animation club, and the list goes on. When you enroll as a full-time student, as long as you and one other person want to start your own club, all you have to do is speak with student services and they can make it happen. We have tons of college traditions. My favorite is Spirit Week. No, it's not like wear your pajamas to school day or crazy hair day. It's all centered around Halloween. So we have a Spookeasy where you get to do some spoken word through our liberal arts program. We have a pumpkin carving contest, a costume contest. I really think that Halloween is a time for artists to really flex their creative muscles, and DCAD wants to celebrate that with you. Alongside of all of the fun activities, we also have a whole bevy of support services available for our students, whether it be accommodations through your 504 or IEP plan. We also have a preferred name policy, gender neutral housing. We have a counseling service available, and we allow emotional support animals. We want to make sure that you're feeling comfortable and confident as a part of the social side of going to college. I chose DCAD because of the small, close-knit environment, but also the opportunity for networking was important to him. This is Josh Hollingsworth, who's now a full-time education specialist at the Delaware Contemporary. When he was a student at DCAD, he had an internship at the Delaware Contemporary that turned into a full-time position. It really goes to show that dedication and commitment to your craft can really lead to endless possibilities. Your first year, regardless of what major you are, you'll take a foundation year. You'll take classes such as drawing, 2D design, color theory, 3D design, 4D design. All of these courses help you build your artistic tool belt so that when you're making work down the line, you can borrow from the skills that you've already learned. So let's say you're trying to make a compelling design. You may want to think about the color of your text or your typography on top of your background. You'll get all of that inspiration from color theory. Let's say you're doing a photo shoot, an editorial. You'll borrow skills from your 2D design class when thinking about composition. So these classes really do help lay the foundation for the rest of the work that you'll be making. 70% of your time is spent in the studio. The other 30% is spent in liberal arts. Now, we're not talking about math and science. That's kind of all baked into the studio experience. We're talking about art history and writing and literature. Yes, it gets a little more complex than that, but this will help provide you with the ability to talk about your work, which is sometimes one of the hardest things to do. You'll also get an understanding of multicultural art and literature. It's important to see kind of all art forms in order to inform the way that you talk about work, the way that you create work. Meeting you wherever you are, we offer 5 majors with unlimited possibilities. First up, we have animation. Animation is for people who want to make things move. So we have both traditional and digital animation courses where you'll study 2D animation, storyboarding, 3D animation. You're learning all of the principles for the foundation of animation. Henry Thurlow, class of 2004, graduated from DCAD and transferred to Pratt. After Pratt, he moved to Tokyo to start working in the animation field. Now, you could imagine as an American living in a Japanese-dominated culture, career field, being a professional animator could be tricky. But Henry is now the founder of his own studio based out of Japan. He's worked on projects such as Kesha, Naruto, Super Jail. To see more examples of his work, I urge you to follow him on Instagram at Henry Thurlow Animator. Up next is Fine Arts. So our Fine Arts program is a lot like the foundation year, but on steroids. So your typical 4-hour drawing class will now be 6 hours long. You'll also take classes in painting, printmaking, and sculpture. This all helps you inform your studio practice. Not only are you going to sharpen your skills in drawing the world and translating the world onto paper, but you will also start developing your perception, and that is your voice and vision as a fine artist. Kayla Mcgrath, class of 2006, is now a full-time painter and jewelry designer based out of Alaska. She has found the market to where she can be successful. To see more examples of her work, I urge you to follow her on Instagram at Lady of Long Lake. Up next, we have graphic design. So our graphic design program is run a lot like a creative house. It's meant to challenge you and inspire you to making the best work that you can in what's typically a fast-paced environment. There's a strong focus on the principles of typography, visual dialogues, creative communication. After all, graphic designers are trying to tell a story or sell a product. So you will learn all of the fundamentals of being a professional graphic designer. Will Ramirez, class of 2014, graduated from DCAD and transferred to Pratt, where he was a designer at Milk, where he worked on projects for Netflix. And he's now the head designer at LaPlaca Cohen. How amazing. Only a few years after graduating, he's already at the top of the class in a firm. So cool. To see more examples of his work, you should follow him on Instagram at willramirez.us. Illustration. So illustration is like if graphic design and fine arts had a baby. So you're going to learn traditional mediums like scratchboard, watercolor, gouache, and then also digital mediums like Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, InDesign. So you're really blending the two together. It's important to be well-versed as an illustrator who knows what your client is going to want you to do. Maybe it's a logo design, maybe it's a children's book. So our illustration program will help prepare you with the tools to make the best decisions that you can when you're out in the field. Mike Hinson, class of 2011, graduated from DCAD and transferred to Pratt. Now he's a Brooklyn-based artist where he's an illustrator at BuzzFeed, but also makes his way down to Wilmington to exhibit in the Chris White Gallery. If there's one thing that this pandemic has taught you, being flexible as an artist is very important. What I love about things like working for BuzzFeed, you can work from your couch, right? Make your digital illustrations and then send them along. And then you can see those illustrations everywhere, whether it be on social media, on various websites. So to see more examples of his work, follow him on Instagram at Hinson Mike. Last, we have photography. So our photography program is a blend of both traditional analog photography and digital photography. You'll work in both black and white and color. You're going to learn all of the principles, techniques that are involved in photography. No need for an Instagram filter. You'll figure out how to do all of that in camera. You'll take classes as a fine arts photographer, but as well as a more photojournalist photographer. So if you wanted to be an editorial photographer, fashion photographer, product photographer, you're going to take classes both in the professional studio and in a more fine art kind of studio space. Leah Beach, class of 2011, graduated from DCAD and started her photography career. She's known for many of her projects, such as the Global Dementia Project or the UN AIDS campaign. What I love about her work is that she's using her camera as a way to lift up these communities for everyone to see. She now runs a creative house located in Lower Delaware. To see what she's up to, follow her on Instagram at Something Different Art. All right, seniors, it's time to get your app together. The first thing is to experience DCAD. This is just one small step. I urge you to follow us on Instagram at DCAD.edu. Check out a virtual tour, tune in for a DCAD discussion, really get a sense of who we are. We do require a portfolio. We want to see 10 to 15 pieces of your best work, and it can be in any major or in any medium. It doesn't have to be within the major that you're applying with. So if you wanted to be a fine artist and have a bunch of mixed media or a bunch of photographs, that's awesome. We do encourage drawings from direct observation, but they are not required. We will need to see an official copy of your high school transcripts. So please have your high school counselor email them directly to us. The first deadline to keep in mind is December 1st, and that is our early action deadline. Should you complete your FAFSA and all of the application requirements by that date, you'll have your financial aid package and your admissions decision no later than January 1st. March 15th is the next deadline to keep in mind, and that is for our merit-based scholarship. What is merit-based scholarship? It is free money that DCAD is investing in you to attend our college. We also have need-based aid available. In order for us to understand what that need-based aid is, you will need to complete your FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. Our school code is listed below, but you could also search for us once you're there. We also welcome outside scholarships. So feel free to submit scholarship applications wherever you can. You'll be surprised on how many scholarships are actually out there to help you fund your education. DCAD has been in the business of transferring students for over 20 years. We have articulation agreements with some colleges. And what does articulation agreement mean? It means that these institutions have taken a look at our curriculum and have determined that, for example, the first 2 years at DCAD are the same as the first 2 years at their institution, so that you can seamlessly transfer to colleges such as MICA, PCAD, more. If there are colleges that you want to transfer that aren't on this list, like I said, we've been in the business of doing this. We will help make it happen with you. Although we have 5 majors, those majors really turn into a variety of careers. So let's say you aspire to be a tattoo artist, then you would start in our illustration program. Maybe you want to get into game design. Well, you'd start in animation. Maybe you want to do app development. Well, you'd start in graphic design. So really, there are tons of possibilities with just our 5 majors. The number one thing that all employers are looking for is creativity. And that's something that DCAD is going to help you grow and foster. Now, some companies make sense to hire artists and designers like Nickelodeon or Calvin Klein. But we have some that some people don't think, like Capital One or Comcast. They need people to help them tell the story, whether it be a photographer or videographer. Maybe they're animating something on their website, illustrating a new logo. Really, all companies need a creative. So the opportunities for employment are through the roof. Whenever someone asks me to describe DCAD in one word, I always say without hesitation, family. And that's Aaliyah Pear. She graduated from DCAD and transferred to Moore. And now she's a visual production manager for Calvin Klein. It's a difficult job title to hear. You're like, what does that mean? She helps design runways and showcases in stores. So it really is a great opportunity. But what I really want to bring out is, without hesitation, family. DCAD truly gets to know you and your work. Sometimes there are things that are challenging to talk about, like your financial aid, or maybe your schedule's not working out. Our college is here to support you. You are more than just your student ID number. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can either email me or give me a call. I look forward to getting to know you and your work. Apply today. Take care.